opened up a big point I'd like to fling open for any of you to address, which is the show's very popular because it's well made, it's well acted, it's well shot, and all that. But there's something deeper that I think keeps suffering us in every week, and it seems to be about reflecting the society and the world we're in today, and maybe where we're going. Maybe it's not a zombie apocalypse, but there's another apocalypse.
Yeah, and it's the idea of disconnecting, and I think that we can all relate to the fact that you can just walk through mindlessly, you can disconnect from things and be a walker, you can be a zombie, but this group that keeps trying to survive despite the odds knows there's something more and doesn't want to sort of succumb to the darkness. And not that, you know, social media is the darkness, but I think we do want to throw our phones away and be connected. And I don't know, at least for me, that's what I love about the show and where we shoot, because it's just, like Norman said, like where else? You live in New York City and then we're in Atlanta and you have a garden where you shoot arrows and trees. I mean, that's really special. But, you know, we get to live a wild life.
I mean, Danai, we were talking a bit outside briefly, and this woman is also an incredibly gifted playwright and actress who's done great serious work. And I'm wondering, when you're doing this week after week, what kind of a journey do you feel Michonne is going on?
Well, what I connected to when I came in later than these guys, and it was something really amazing to look at what they've done and this astounding piece of work they'd already built and created, this fan base that they'd already created. And what really connected me actually was the fact that, you know, a little extending on what Lauren said, it felt to me like a war zone. It felt very real that way and very visceral, in the sense that one of the plays I researched was about war, and so I'd gone to a war zone area, and it really felt similar in how what they had managed to make very tangible, which is that idea that, you know, when everything is gone, if all the structures we're used to go away, who do you become? And I mean, thankfully, we on this soil have not experienced that for a very, very long time, but there are other parts of the world where it's happening all the time, and we see it in the news every day, where, you know, the structures, the homesteads, the ability to pick up the phone and call and get help, all those things go away. That's real in the world right now. And that's the way that the thing that I loved about this show is it asked that question that a war zone will ask of you, which is, what is your humanity, where's your humanity going to fall when that happens? Who are you going to become? Are you going to become him? Or, you know, are you going to become, you know, someone who transforms so beautifully like a barrel, or someone who just spirals into more darkness like a governor? You know, but the question is, who are you going to become? Something is going to affect, you're not going to be who you are right now. And so for me, that was very interesting about Michonne, because it felt to me like she was one of those women in war. Like, I was researching specifically women for the play, and she felt like, just from what Kirkman had created on the page, she felt like one of those chicks who really do become a very formidable force when they can no longer rely on anybody else. And so watching her journey from, the great thing also about this show is that it starts people in different spots. So you see Rick go through the very, you know, waking up into it and journeying through it. You see everyone at different points of it, but you never see, and there's some people you see when they're far along, like when my character came or when the governor came, and we are already in our post-apocalyptic selves. And then you kind of have to trek back to, okay, who were these people? And that's kind of, it's been a very interesting thing to journey with her, is she's in a post-apocalyptic self, so she's not trying to be friendly, she's not trying to like be warm, and she's kind of cut off, and she's kind of calloused by her wounds. No one knows what they are because she doesn't like talking about it. You know, she's dealing with the realm that she finds very hostile. And then slowly she's finding the right people. She starts to open up again and refine herself. So that's been a real blessing and a gift to get to navigate and have these amazing writers allow me to navigate, is seeing her sort of recapture her old self and meld it with her new self. And then where does she go from there, and what does she become? So it's been a really interesting journey.
One of the things I found interesting in the last season was how they focused you and Beth for a while moved on. There was that whole episode, it seems practically just the two of you. When you realized you were going to get that kind of a different side, quiet side of your character come out for a while, what did you think?
was excited to work with Emily. I mean, she's such a good actress, and she's a musician, she's a listener, she's a performer. Everything she says is so honest, and it was nice because you wouldn't normally pair those two up, I think, so it made it interesting. But and we were high-fiving every take, and it was a good bonding moment for the two of us. That stuff, sitting on the porch, listening to her, tell stories and give that speech, I didn't have to do anything. I just had to listen to her. She was so good in that. And I think she was kind of like, I mean, at that point, with everything that had happened in the story, with everybody losing each other, and that dude coming in with his big tank and stuff, which I blew up that tank, by the way. Really wimpy layup I did. But at that point, I think she's sort of like this, little flame of hope at the end of some long tunnel, and then, it gets taken away. But it's like everything on the show is. But I don't know, it was nice to work with her. I had a really nice time with her.
It was a beautiful thing for you to have too. Your acting in those scenes was super. Right, we like seeing that side of you too.
I know these rumors about like his sexuality. I can't answer these questions, but it's interesting. But it was on Howard Stern the other day, and they go, "Yeah, the news is that Daryl might be gay, right?" And then Howard goes, "Yeah, I think so, because she was in that house with that pretty blonde girl. All he did was pee in the corner."
Baba Booey!
Baba Booey.
Something I've always wanted to know, because it is so intense, and all of you, and I imagine most of the cast are crazy people and fun people, but what do you do to diffuse the tension? Is it like being at summer camp or at college during exam time? What do you do at nights? Do you play games?
We play Heads Up.
Explain.
Not at night, but do you guys know the app? It's the Ellen DeGeneres one. You gotta get this app. It's like, it's save you. You played it yet? No, we had some sessions. It was fun. But what do we do otherwise?
We're very goofy. We do tend to joke a lot with each other when we're in between, or in between setups or whatever. We do tend to keep each other laughing quite consistently throughout the day.
Heads Up is a charades game. Just figured I'd close that out. It's a charades.
Well, when the cameras are rolling, it is always consistently dead serious, right?
It's so hard to goof around because if somebody's always got something really grave to deal with, but I mean, we are so naturally all really, really goofy that it's not necessarily prankster. I have to say, Josh McDermott, who plays Eugene, though, is an absolute prankster. And this season has been I don't even know. It's so hard to tell stories about a prank that was made when you don't know the person it was played on. So I'm going to stop talking.
There's not really a lot of time to do a lot of pranks when you're working because we're doing this, I say we, but when I was there, and it's still happening, it's in 8 days usually. 8 days. These guys are filming beautifully put together, edited, acted, filmed movies, tiny little movies, and you don't, you want to, every now and then you do, but most of the time you really are into it and you just want to get it done and go and pick the ticks off your body,
And apparently the sun doesn't stay up after sunset.
You're always chasing the lights.
Also, it's not just us. There's us in front of the camera, but there's a whole army of people behind the camera who work so hard.
250 people
it's amazing. I've worked on shows, all around the world and stuff. Our crew are the best crew I've ever worked with. They're fantastic. Like Michael was saying before about the conditions, the conditions are tough, but we're in a great show, so we love it. But it's not just us. It's like, in 8 days, you see the work, it's like major movies happen in 8 days. Every episode we do, we're blowing stuff up. It's great depth of character, there's great sequences, there's great, you know, the zombies, all that makeup, Greg Nicotero and his team, but everybody, and not just the guys on the floor doing it for us, but, you know, girls in the offices, people making sure that everything's there for us when we get to work. And that team that makes us work so well. So it's a great place to be on. So yeah, we have a laugh, but no one loses sight of the seriousness of the show and the quality of the show. And maybe the weekends we'll get together and we'll eat and we'll do. But you are tired, you know, you go through it and we get to, this is where we have our laugh, I have to say. When we get together at things like this, and we meet you lot, we meet the fans, and that's great, and we have a real laugh then. But when you're at work, it's 24/7, and you're going for it, not just for us, but for everybody on that set. It's full on.
There's a lot of respect for each other. Like, we all really respect each other. And like Lauren said, everybody has something horrible to do almost every day, so everybody gives each other their space, and, you know, quiet when you be quiet. And if, you know, somebody has something very serious to do, and your headphones are on, and you're just not engaging because you have something later. Everybody
once the headphones are on, everyone leaves you alone. Don't bother him. Headphones on.
Guys, I'm going to have to wrap up a bit, but I thought, if you didn't mind,